Ag AM in Kansas is brought to you in part by Sure Crop, liquid crop nutrition delivered right to your farm.
Well, I guess I could say I'm honored and humbled to be in the position of chairman of the United Soybean Board now. I thought it was quite something that my fellow directors felt enough of me to put me in that position. You know, the United Soybean Board is a national board that helps administer the checkoff funds. As most farmers know, for every bushel of soybeans that they sell, 0.5% is taken out for research and promotion. Half of that money stays at the state level, where the Kansas Soybean Commission or other state checkoff boards administer that money. The other half is then remitted on to the United Soybean Board to be worked on at a national level. The United Soybean Board had their December meeting here, the second week of December. It was our annual meeting, so part of the main thing was to start off electing new officers and have a first off direction for as far as looking at programs that we are going to be funding in the coming years. Before the actual United Soybean Board meeting, we had our Connections meeting, which is a biannual meeting. This is where we try to bring in people from other parts of the soy industry along with the farmers, and we try to look at the soybean industry for the next 5-6 years or even farther down the road, looking at things that we need to be doing to keep the profitability in soybean industry. Well, at our Connections meeting, we looked in three main areas. The first area, and one that I feel is most important, is adding value to the soybean meal. As we all know that the livestock industry is our number one customer, whether it's here or abroad. We have to compete with many different products, different protein sources and different soybean meals from different countries when you start talking about foreign markets. And one thing we want to try to do is improve the meal so that the U.S. soybean meal has a distinct advantage over other soybean meals or other protein sources. Another thing that we looked at was the technology acceptance. Many people talk about GMOs and biotech traits, and we were just looking at different ways that we can find more acceptance. The acceptance of biotech traits is varied throughout the years. We've been using them here in the U.S. for 20 plus years, and we've had no incidents of any ill effects of using GMO products. And the third item that we discussed during the Connections was trying to collaborate research dollars, whether it's with private research dollars or the public funds we have through the university, how we can coordinate research efforts to better use those dollars and try to cut down some of the duplication of research. So time that is spent for new programs at the United Soybean Board. The February meeting will be the meeting that we do a lot of the discussion at that time on programs and research that we are going to fund with the checkoff dollars. The Kansas Soybean Commission had their meeting in which they review their projects for the coming year. Of course, Kansas's fiscal year starts on July 1, so we were looking at projects for starting July 1. They run the gamut of research for as far as varietorial research, research into sudden death and certain weed resistance. We've also do some research into new use products for polyoils and such. We also fund programs for consumer education on soybeans and farming in general. But we through the Kansas Soybean Commission and the United Soybean Board, we spend a lot of time researching projects, and I sure hope that the time that is spent has been a benefit to the soybean industry as a whole. We wonder what what we're doing is for the benefit, but just this past summer we had our Texas A&M did a study for us on our return on investment, and that return on investment study is something that we're required through the Act and the Order to do every 5 years. And this last year we come out with for every dollar of money that's invested in the soybean checkoff, that $5.6 is returned to the soybean farmers. So, even though that we sometimes wonder, I guess that is good proof that we are doing our job and investing our checkoff dollars wisely. I know it's always looks like there's something taken out of your check when you get at the end, but I hope you will all remember that even though the soybean price is not as high as it was here in the last few years, that we feel like we've raised the soybean price to a new level, and hopefully it'll be there for years to come. And we want to thank everyone for trusting this with your checkoff dollars.
Tar Waters has what you need for all seasons for around the farm and home. Working, hunting, growing, feeding, snow removal, even fun for the kids. And a service department with experienced techs to help keep your equipment in top running condition. Tar Waters has a huge selection and the best prices. Tar Water Farm and Home, family owned and operated since 1978. They have what you need.